Everyone, in today's session, let me try to help you guys understand how to go about choosing the perfect size for any space that you have, keeping in mind of the activity happening in that space and understanding a little bit of how Feng Shui works around in the space. So firstly, let me consider the space that I want to work for is either a living space or a dining area or a living room or a dining space. So in that case, what we're going to do is let us consider this particular box that you see over here as my area that I'm basically going to work around with. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, one thing that you have to know, any rug that you choose or have must sit in the center of the entire space. So like I said, this is basically your say your living room. So whatever it is, the center of it must be where your entire rug must be sitting. So this is one thing that you can consider. So if this room is only dealing with a living space where you have a couple of, say, sofas or something like this, or orientation of sofas are like this, and you have a coffee table probably here. Really sorry about the drawing, but this is just a simple representation. You have a side table over here, probably this is basically how it's going to look. In that case, this is one of the best ways to go about orienting your entire furniture, and this is one of the things that you can consider. Now let me take the second example where the same area that you have over here, that is this enclosed space that you have over here, is dealing with two activity spaces. What I mean to say is, what if this area is dedicated for both a living space and a dining area? What you have to do is, the rule will follow the same, that is, you will be having to keep the rug in the center of the space itself, but here there are two activities. So what you can go about doing is, in this entire zone you can dedicate one area which is going to be sitting for your living room, and then another area which is going to be sitting for your dining space. So it depends how you want to orient your furniture. I'm just giving a very rough idea. So if this is my sofa over here, and then they have the other sofa that is sitting over here, okay, something like this, and I have a coffee table over here, and I have my dining area running like this in the center, right? So I have two spaces over here that is sitting exactly, and even the rugs are placed such that it forms a balance in the space. So these are some of the tips and tricks that you can actually use to make sure at least the basic fundamentals of Feng Shui are followed. At the same time, your design logistics of balance in a space is being created. Now coming to the second part, that is, in any space that you have, considering that, for example, now I'm just going to consider this as a living area. This is where my rug is going to be. Okay. So in this condition, what would happen is, in case if I do have my sofa, for example, over here, okay, this is really, again, sorry for the drawings, but this is just a very quick understanding of what you can expect. This is a coffee table that is there. In this case, what would happen is, note that any furniture element that is there must always be placed within the rug. Okay, don't make sure that there is no furniture that is coming out of this particular rug area. This is one thing that I would suggest you, because sometimes what happens, if all your other sofa seating area, or coffee tables and all are in within the rug area, but you have probably a small chair that's a little out, something like this would not be considered, and this is not right as per basic design logistics in Feng Shui. So make sure this, everything that you have in terms of seating area, all falls within the space. And when I mean this, I particularly mean an activity zone where seating or anything that is there, those elements can fall within a space. But if you have elements like you have a bookshelf over here taking this zone, or if you have a TV unit over here, all of this do not have to come along with the rug. They can be separately placed, but major areas where you have your seating or your coffee tables and those kind of furniture all have to come within the rug area. Okay, the last thing that we have, and the last thing I want to discuss, is keeping in mind whatever furnitures that we have. For example, let me consider, again, this is my rug area. Okay, if this is one type of rug that I have, or in case if I have a circular rug or an oval shaped rug in my space, make sure all the furnitures, even in this orientation, are cupping within the area. It doesn't matter if you're orienting them like this or you're actually orienting them as per the curvature. That's completely up to you, but make sure all the elements of your seating, be it dining area or living area, come within the curve. And even if you don't want, for example, when I mean that, if you have a curve like this, you actually have curving furnitures only that you get, other than straight furnitures. You can actually place those curved furnitures in whichever areas have your coffee areas and still have it placed within the space. So these are just some of the examples of understanding how you can go about making your spaces not just beautiful, but with basic feng shui, but also being able to understand the design perspective of the same. But while doing this, please do make sure you take the basic design logistics into consideration, that is understanding your basic distances from each thing, like how much distance is required for circulation of the space, how much is required in terms of distance between coffee table, everything. Take all of those design logistics and then go about doing these applications on your space. So saying that, hope this gave you a clearer idea of how you can go about choosing any rug for your space, keeping in mind of the activity in that area.